Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So let's begin with the session number 10, the Django REST framework series. So we have completed into the last session, like we have created the signup form, the signup form, and we have created a login page as well. And we have created the endpoints into the previous sessions, like how we are going to activate our account, how the user can register into our site. Now we are going to integrate the Redux into it, and we are going to make use of Redux for calling the endpoints for the registration, and we are going to connect basically we are front end with our back end, that is a Django REST framework series. So that is the things we are going to discuss into this entire session. So let's begin with the coding part. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe to my channel, and if you want to watch the previous videos, you can go ahead from this channel, and you can watch it from over here. So I have almost uploaded the specific 9 series from here. Okay, so it's showing only 9 here. I don't know why it is not updated. So there will be a 9 video. So or else I would have uploaded in some other playlist. I'll fix that. Okay. So 9, this is maybe it is probably a 10th session over there. Okay. So now coming back to the concept of the sign up. So I have created that form. Now we need to connect with our Redux part. So let's do that part. So coming back to my Visual Studio Code. So here we have a sign up screen and we have a login screen. So let's see first for the sign up, and let me remove this. Now coming back to the components over here. So I need to implement the Redux first, right? So I'm just going to create the files into our actions, and I'm going to create it into our constants and the reducers. So here this specific data, this specific folders, I'm going to make use of it for writing the piece of codes. So first and foremost, I'm just going to create the specific users. I'm going to create it something like constant for the users. So I'm just going to create it a new file. So I'm going to make it here as a user constants. So I'm going to make it as a user constants dot js file over here. So into the user constant dot js file, I'm just going to add a few of the variables. So that is going to help us for in our reducers along with our actions folder. So to call a specific API whenever we are getting a request is being called. So here I'm just going to make use of, I have already typed it. I'm not going to type. From this session, we are going to speed up our process so that if I type and set each and every line, it will be going to be a very long videos. So I don't want to make you guys wait, and let's concentrate on the learning part into it. So I have created my website, right? Into my website already I have done all these codes, and I'll be making use of those specific piece of code which is already been typed, and I'll be copy pasting over here. So if nothing is else, I'm going to type it. Okay. So here you can see I've created a specific variables user login request and user login success and failure for the login, and we have created one specific request for the user logout, and I have created a 3 specific variables for a registration. So there's a user registers request, user register success, and a user register failed over here. It is for the registration purpose. The registration is nothing but your sign up purpose. Okay, and this is going to be for the login. So don't want to maintain here as a register, so let's make it simply a sign up over here. Okay, so not to just worry, sign up over here, and even here I'm just going to change the names. So let's keep the things consistent. I'm just going to make it as a signup sign up over here. Sorry, signup sign up over here. Okay, so let's save this. So once I save this specific data, now I'll just come back to the actions.js file over here. So in the actions, I'm going to use I'm going to create it a new specific file. I'm just going to keep it as a user action.js. Okay, I'm going to make it as a user actions actions dot js file here. So in the user actions.js file, again I'm just going to make use of these axios. So I'm going to copy this. I'm just going to paste these axios over here. Now I need to make use of those specific data, right? So what I'll do here is I'll just go to the user actions. So I'm going to import it now. So I'm going to I'm going to come back to the user actions. Here I'm just going to use it as imp import. So I wanted to import from where you need to import it. So I'm just going to go dot slash, and I'm just going to make use of all these dot slash and the constant, right? Yeah, from the constant file, I'm going to use the user constant.js file. So from this JS file, I wanted to import all the specific data. So I'm going to use this user login request. I'm just going to copy and paste it over here, and I'm just going to replace with the data here. So here I have user login request and the user login. I wanted to import the user login success, and I wanted to import the user login failure over here. Okay, user login fail, and along with that I wanted to import the user sign up part. So I'm just going to make it as a user sign up request, sign up fail, whichever you want, you can make it use of. I'm going to make it user success request and user, and I have used the sign up fail, sign up request, and the user sign up success. Okay, so these are all the modules I'm going to make use of. These are all the specific variables I'm going to make use from the actions over here. So once I have done in the user actions, now I need to create the specific URL for working on to it. So in this, I'm just going to create it in a function. That is, I'm going to make it as I want to export this specific thing. This specific function, I'm going to tell export function const is const. First, I'm going to make use for the sign up over here. Okay, I'm going to make it use for the sign up over here, or you can tell it as a register, whatever you feel good, you can use it. I'm going to make it as a sign up over. So export const sign up. In this export const sign up, what all the data you are going to get it from the username over here. So what all the data you are going to get it here? Mainly you are going to get it the name, last name, first name, last name, email, and a password. The 1 2 3 4 items you are going to get it from the front end over here, right? So I'm just going to mention here, I'm going to get the data. So this is nothing but a first name I'm going to get it. I'm just going to get the last name, I'm going to get the specific email, then I'm just going to get the password from this specific URL. So this is the data I'm going to be, and this is going to be an asynchronous call, async, and whenever I'm using async, I need to use this dispatch over there. So let me use like this. Okay, this is a function which is going to get all these values from the form, and it is asynchronous function. And in here, I'm just going to use the try and accept conditions over here. So I'm going to make use of the try over here. So in this try, I'm just going to use the dispatch over here. So I'm going to use of the dispatch. So I'm going to make use here. I'm going to use it here as something called as a dispatch, and this data I'm just going to dispatch it. Okay, so this data I'm going to dispatch it. So in this, I'm going to pass few of the argument, like what is the, like, basically, you know, right? Whenever if I just show you, if I just right click into my website, and if I show you right live, so you can see I'm going to the Redux lighthouse over here. So into not lighthouse, in the Redux, right? So in the Redux, you can see now, if I just simply go to the specific login page. So if I just go to the register page, so why can I not able to see here? So I think I need to refresh maybe. Okay, so I think I'm not able to see this data, so something is mistake over here. So I'm going to do one thing. I'm just going to like this. So I'm going to just press Control plus Shift plus R. So once I do, so I should able to see the Redux data. Why I'm not able to see this Redux screen? So basically, let me do one thing. So I'm just going to click onto the setting over here, and I can just maybe restore to default reloads. So once I do now, so now I'm just going to Redux part now. Okay, it is having maybe some kind of box over here. Okay, let's leave this part. Let's come back to this. We'll see that part later. Now coming back to this, so basically whenever I just click on to this screen, right? Whenever I click onto this screen, first it is kind of a request, right? So when I submit the form, then it will be a form is getting submitted. Then I need to get based on the success or a failure. So these are all the three things I need to take care. So whenever this specific sign up page opens, that is going to be a request. That is the request over here. So I'm going to mention here, if the type is equals to, first I'm going to check the type, what is the request I'm getting it here. So if the user sign up request, if it is, this is the user sign up request, I need to get dispatch it. Okay, so on our starting point, and I'm going to configure a few of the things, that is the config. What is all the data you are going to config it over here. So I'm going to config some kind of an headers over here. So inside these headers, I'm just going to mention that is what is the content type. So that is a content type is going to be an application JSON. We are going to send the data in the form of a application JSON. So I'm going to mention here as a application slash JSON file over here. Okay, this will be the headers. I'm going to set it. Okay, so once I just pass the application.json data, and then we are going to iterate these all information from the user, right? So I need to just what will be the next step now. So next I need to call the API now. So how we are going to make use of an API? By the use of a Axios over here. So in this, I'm just going to tell here as a const, I'm going to get the data from the specific form, and after I get the specific data, I'm just going to use the asynchronous function. I'm going to make use of an await until I get the response. You have to wait it. So I'm going to make use of the Axios dot post request. Okay, in this post request, it should go to the slash API slash what is the API we have created for this. So I'll show you into the registration purpose. I have used the API as API slash user slash register. This is okay. Okay, yeah, this is the API we have used for registration purpose, right? I'm just going to copy the same URL and I'm just going to just paste it here. I'm just going to just paste it over here. It has to call the URL, that is API/user/register. This is going to be a post request method, okay? And all the data you need to pass it as an application JSON. So you can see here, whatever we have set here, the content type is application JSON, and whatever the body you are just passing headers, and whatever the URL we are passing, the same thing we are doing with the coding point of view over here, okay? So once I done this, so basically once I done this, now I need to iterate the information from it. So what is the second argument? So it will be a second argument. So it will be the post request. So what will be the second argument? The second argument to iterate the information now. So that is going to be in the form of a key value pairs. So I wanted to pass something like a f name for the front end, so that I'm going to get it from the f name value, whatever from the form, whatever I'm getting it. I'm just going to pass the information here. So you can see we are passing like, right, f name, last name, email, password. The same way we are going to pass the data in this way. I'm going to pass it here as the f name is equal to f name, and I'm just going to pass the l name. So l name I'm just going to show as an LNAME over here. Then I'm just going to pass the email. So email, I'm just going to make use of a email over here, and I'm just going to make use of the password as a password, whatever I'm getting it over here. This is all the data. I'm just going to pass it, and that is going to be the data. It is going to just pass it. So once it is done, I'll be getting the information. I'll be getting an information. Basically, whenever I hit this specific endpoint, what happens? It is just go to our backend, and it is going to run few of the backend logic, and it will give us some kind of a response, right? So that we have seen. So now I need to use that response to our screen, right? So what I'll do here is, once it is done, okay, so I'm just going to write, let me use it here. So once I just pass this data, or I can just right click and format the document. It's using for the selector prettier as here. So okay, fine. So what I'll do here is, once the API request is been called, so again I'm just going to make use of the dispatch. So dispatch is going to first dispatches for request. The second dispatch work if it is a post request, and after that it is going to work this specific dispatch. So I'm going to just tell here in this, if the user is requesting for whom, if the user is requesting for the user register success, right? So I'm going to just tell as a user register success, or user sign up success, right? If this is done, so if we are getting type is equals to sign up success, that means if all the things is going perfect, the user has been registered successfully. So from there I need to take the payload data, okay, and I need to set the payload to whatever the data we got it, okay? So whatever the data I'll be receiving from the response from the backend, that will store here, and then I'm going to just use it as a success. If all goes well, then I'm just going to store it in the data over here, okay? So once it is done, so what I'll do here is, now I need to make the user log in here. I want to make the user to be logged in over here, right? So for that, what I'll do here is, I don't want, once the user has been okay, basically we don't want, because I'll be using a email verification method, right? So that we'll see later. Now right now I'm just going to keep it as a success and a payload. So once it is done, I wanted to keep the TRF, whatever the token I'll be generating, right? The access token or a refresh token, what we are storing into our backend. So based on that, I'll be making sure that the specific user is been logged in into my specific website, and that is an active user, and it is a perfect user one, okay? So for that, what I'll do here is, I'm going to tell you as a local storage dot set item. I'm just going to set the specific user information into our session. I'm going to tell you as a user info. I'm just going to store the user information, and I'm just going to store the into the JSON format over here. So I'm going to just tell as a json.string method, and what all the data I'll be getting it, stringify that data. Whatever the data will be there, I'm just going to store it into my local storage with the user info information, okay? Once the user is been done, but basically I don't need to do it, this thing I can do it into the login part, no need here. But I have been used right now, so show you how it is going to be there, because once the verification is done, then at the time of login I'm going to store it, not at the time of sign up. That is why I've just stored it right now. Later we'll see that part over here, okay? So if there is any error, I need to handle the specific error, right? So that is who is going to handle that error. We should only handle it, okay? So basically this is going to run from here, try, okay? See, all the things goes well, done. So if nothing goes wrong, if tried not, basically I'm going to add the piece of code for the catch. So this will be the, for everything it should be same, okay? So I'm going to make use of here as a user, if something happens, if there is an error, dispatch the specific error. So at this time I'm going to make use of the user sign up fail. So if the sign up is getting fail, I'm just going to store into the payload what all the message will be there, and data dot response, whatever details will be there, I'm just going to send it. See, error dot response dot data dot details. So as a detail, I'm going to send some kind of a message from our backend, so that is going to store it. Okay, if there is there, it is going to store it details, or else it will just show you the message over part over there. Okay, that's it. Now I think I am missing one closing tag. Okay, I have added it over. Okay, so that's it. So this is about for the specific sign up part over here. I'm just going to format the specific document, save it. And this is going to be a very simple form for the sign up. Now the same thing I am going to do it for the login part over here. So for the login, I'm just going to control D. I'm just going to copy line all this same data over here. So here I'm just going to make use of the something called as a login over here. So for the time of a login, I'm going to simply make use of the email and a password, right? I'm going to just take the email and a password, and it will be dispatching. At this time, I'm rather than having a sign up here, I'm just going to make it as a login request. If it is a login, again we are going to pass it as application JSON itself. Again, I'm going to dispatch the data. So this time, what is the API we are using for a login? So we are using something called as a API slash user. Oh, sorry, this we are using, right? User.profile something. Yeah, users. I think I have created an API for the backend or not. I'm not sure. Let me check. I have created basically. Let me see the URLs of it. Okay, so you can see you have a register here. You can see user slash login. I'm going to make use of this user slash login URL. Okay, so I'm just going to make use of a user slash. Okay, I'm pasting at the right place. Yeah, I'm going to make use of this endpoint, that is a users slash login, and this is going to give only the email and the password. I'm going to iterate the email and the password from the form, and it will be the once the dispatch is success, once the login is success, I'm just going to make it as a login has been success over here, and I'm just going to pass the payload data over here. Okay, and this time I'm going to store the information of this user. Okay, if there is something goes wrong, I'm just going to maintain here as a user login field over here. Just going to make it as a users. I'm going to make it as a user login field. Okay, like this I'm going to pass it, and I'm going to pass the payload. Here one thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to just remove from here. Okay, so there's no need of just storing the local storage system here, because until and unless I'm not verifying an account, I'm not going to a user to be logged in into my site. So that I'll add it later. Right now I'm just going to remove it, or else let it be. So basically I'm going to comment out that email part, basically who doesn't have the professional emails. So I'm going to keep a simple login and a failure for those people. So who you want, you can just remove, who are going to use your professional emails into their website for verification the email address. So you can remove the line number 35 from here, because we are going to do one thing. We are going to make use of login. When the login is success, at the time itself, I'm just going to pass the payload data, and that data I'm just going to store it in the form of a user information. Okay, that is what I'm going to do it here. So that is all we have been done. So we have we have created the user actions, that is completed, and we have created a constant part now. Now what is the left out part here is in the now the left out part here is inside our the reducers over here. So we have reducers, right? I'm just going to create a new reducers here. I'm going to do it as a user or reduce reducers.js file here. So in the user reducers.js file, I'm just going to make use of the I'm going to add like a while condition, like switch cases here. We're going to make use of the switch cases here, right? So I'll just copy the entire part from whatever we have added inside our user actions, the imported lines. I'm just going to imported lines. I'm just going to copy from here, and I'm just going to paste it into my user reducers over here. So I hope it is perfect. No, there won't be any kind of an error. Okay, once I use this one, now I need to create one switch cases for basically whenever request comes, how you get to know, how the action we are going to get to know, like what is the type we are getting, you know, how we are going to get the dispatch information, like what is the type of a dispatch, whether it is a requesting or whether it is sending, it is a post request, or it is getting a failure. How we are going to get to know that, we are going to get to know from the users reducers, right? So that's how I'm going to use it here. So I'm just going to make use of an export here. So export const, I'm going to maintain as a user sign up, signup user sign up reducers, or educr reducers, user sign up reducers. I'm going to keep it. So in this user sign up reducers, I'm just going to make use of I need to just show what is the current state, and it is going to be a function call, right? So in this, I'm going to tell first, I'm going to set what is the state. I'm going to set the state here. So the state is going to be an empty for any meaning, and later it's based on an action, it is going to work. Okay, so I'm going to put the comma and an action over here. So now let's use the concept of this switch condition. So in this, I'm just going to get type the action based on the action, right? So I'm going to check the action dot type here. So action dot type. So if the action is for the request, right? Imagine if the action is coming for a user request. For that I'm going to make use of this data. I'm going to make use of I think I am not configured the actions here, right? So let me see what I have missed it. Something I have missed it over here. Okay. Basically, whenever we are configuring, we need to pass the configuration data as well, so that we are not using anywhere config part. Okay, yeah. Basically, whenever I'm passing an information, right? Whenever I'm passing an information, I need to configure this header part. So what I'm going to do here is after this specific information, I'm just going to configure the specific parameter. I'm just going to pay a config here, and along with that here as well, I'm going to put the config. I need to set the config headers. Okay, just save it over here. This is the one thing I was missing. Coming back here, so now based on the actions type, I need to make use of this nine reducers. User reducers is here. Okay, so imagine now it is for a request. It is a switch. I need to switch based on the request. That is, we are using a switch case, and this is action is for a requesting purpose. So based on the request over here. So how we are going to check this switch condition? So I'm going to just check one specific case. So if the case is matching with user login user sign up request, right? If the case is matching for the user sign up request, so user sign up request, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to, yeah, if there is a case is for the user sign up request, what I'll be doing it, I'm just going to keep return. I'm just going to keep return. So basically, if it is a request, it will follow up the request part. I wanted to pass one argument, that is a loading. So LOD, I wanted to make, if the page is getting loaded, I want to show the spinner. So till that, I'm just going to I'm going to show the true, that I wanted to show the spinner. True means loading with true is equal to, it is going to show you the spinner. Okay, that is the one specific case over here. Then I wanted to check for another case here. So I'm going to check for the user sign up success over here. So if the user is sign up is been getting success, I wanted to return basically loading, whatever the loading has been there. I'm just going to set the loading to false here. So after false, I'm just going to, once the user sign up is success, right, I wanted to get the information of the user, right? So that is going to be stored into the user information. So user inf, I'm going to make it as a user info. So you can see I have created something called as a user info, right? So I have created as a user info. Here all the data will be stored. So based on that, I can validate the user has been logged in or not. So I'm going to make use of this user info, and inside the user info here, I'm just going to pass the action dot payload over here. Okay, POLAOD payload over here. So then I'm going to make use of the registration for this fail. I'm going to control D. So imagine if there is a user sign up fail fail. If the things are getting failed, loading is going to be false. So action error is rather than user info, I'm just going to get whatever the action I got response. So in the error, I'm going to show that I'm going to just store it over there. Okay, that's all I'm just going to keep in. And apart from that, if the user has been signed up, that has been done. So imagine if there is a default, I wanted to give one default case as well. So in the default, whatever the current state will be there, that has to be returned. I'm going to mention here as a return the specific state. So we have created a empty state, right? So it will be an empty state. If the action type is a request, it takes the request as a state, and it will go to the URL here, and if based on the states type, whatever the dispatch we have created, that is going to work. Okay, that is what the things happens. So returning the default state now. So I'm going to copy it down same as it is. Now I'm just going to make it as a user login reduces. So I'm just going to tell it as a user login reducers. So in this, I'm just going to make use of a based on the type. So I'm going to make it as a user login request. Okay, and I'm going to mention here as a user login success. Okay, if it is there, user information I'm going to tell. I'm going to make it as a user login failure. If it is there, it had to be. So all the things is going to be remain same. So nothing is going to be change over here. Okay, so that's all about this part. So let me save this. So we have created an actions, we have created a reducers, we have created a specific screen. So we have just created an endpoint for it. I'll basically to call an API. Now coming back to your store. So let's come back to our store.js. So where is our store here? So our store, I'm going to close here. So in this store is here, the store is here, right? So from this specific reducers, I wanted to import those information. Okay, so I'm going to tell you as a user login reducers, I'm going to get it, and I'm going to just tell here as a So what a proper names I can use it. Let I'm going to make use of that. Okay, so imagine I'm just going to make use of the first user login. Okay, I'm going to put the comma, so I'm going to keep it as a user login. I'm just going to create it as a user login. So for this I'm just going to make use of the user login reducers. Okay, and I wanted to copy again, that is a user sign up reducers. For the user sign up reducer, I'm just going to make use of a user sign up. Okay, so I'll be using as a user signup sign up here. For the user sign up, I'm going to tell user sign up reducers over here. Okay, so this has to be used over here. So once I save this, so let's see any error. If we can able to see it into the home page. So right now I don't have any error, probably, thank God. So what I'll do here is, let me, I don't know why the Redux is not appearing. Okay, you can see it's showing me something is warning invalid on class. Okay, that's fine, and this also is fine. So it is showing me here React better development experience. So if I just click onto the React dev tool, so the React developer tool, yeah, so this was the React developer tool. Okay, this is React developer tool. I wanted the Redux part. So what I'll do here is I'm just going to close this Chrome again. I'm just going to reopen this Chrome part. Let's see now it is going to come or not. So yeah guys, so it has been added. So actually I removed from the Chrome the Redux, and again I added the extension. It was having some effect. So now let me one now. Okay, so now you can see I can able to see the states here. So now let me refresh this state. So once I state this, you can see I have got it here. If I come back to the states, so you can able to see here the user sign up and the user sign up and user login has been requested over. It has been added here. Okay, so this two specific states has been added that I have registered successfully into my screen now. So once it is done, now coming back to our sign up screen here, so we need to make use of a few of the parts into the sign up screen to call the endpoint and pass what all the default all the values we have inside it. Okay, so it is what we need to do it. So for that I'm just going to come back to my specific sign up screen, and here let's see what I can do it over here. Let me give me a second. Okay, screen, that is users. So here I have able to get the data, right? So basically I have got the data. So I wanted to get what is the current state, and I wanted to load some of the important things from here. Okay, so in this I wanted to import the specific use dispatch and use selectors. Okay, it has been already imported from the Redux React. You can see React Redux. I have used the use dispatch and the use selector. So using of this use dispatch, I'm just going to tell what is the current type and all those things over there, right? That is what I'm going to make use of it. So what I'll do here is I'm going to set the specific to important configuration into sign up screen. That I'm going to set here what is the dispatch. I'm just going to configure a dispatch variable with the used dispatch, and I have configured the location with the used location. What is the specific current location here? Okay, so after that I'm just going to copy down. I'm going to write a few of the code over here. So in this const it will be done. So I'm going to tell here as a const. Here I'm going to tell what is the redirect which should happen. So once the specific sign up is successful, where you have to get redirected. So in the for that specific file, I'm going to tell const redirect is equals to, so from this specific location. So in this location dot sercs search, I'm just going to search with the location. If this location dot sercs search, so based on the specific location dot search dot split, I'm going to split it. So inside this I'm just going to split if it is equals to, and I wanted to iterate this first location from, if I'm going to get the first indexing position from here. So from there I'm just going to redirect back him to the home page, like slash page, something like that I have used here. That's the way what it's going to do over here. Okay, so this basically I got it from that Chrome at that time. I use the same over here. So once it is done, I'm just going to basically show what is the state I wanted to make deal from the states now. So I'm going to tell you as a const user signup user sign up is equals to, going to make use of use selector. Okay, so in this I'm just going to tell what is the state, what is the base, what is the current state of the right now, what is the current state, so that I can able to get it from the state dot user user sign up from the specific user. So from this specific store, from the user sign up, I can able to get what is the current state is been used from me. Okay, so that is why I use the state dot user sign up over here. Okay, that has been done. Then inside this I'm going to get the three important configuration. So if there is an error, I wanted to handle the error. And if there is a loading part, if there is a still loading, I need to get what is the loading. If it is still loading, what you need to do. If there is an error, what you need to do. Again, if there is a user information, if there is a user information, that is a success. Basically it is a user info. So for that I'm going to make use of the user sign up. Okay, I have used as a user sign up, that I'm going to make use of the user sign up over here. So this is what have been done. So you will be wondering what is this error loading and user info, right? So that I am able to do it from the use effect part over here. What I'll do here is I'm going to make use of here. So okay, I think there is some mistake. Okay, I have already used here as a error here, set error and set message. So I'm going to make use of a message here, message message, and this I'm going to make use of the set message message over here. So here I'm just going to change the set error to set message over here. Okay, this is the one thing I'm going to just make it. The same thing I'm just going to make it as a set message here. Again I'm going to make it as a set message here, and again I would have given some errors here as well. So error, so yeah, message, sorry, I'm going to make it as a message message and message. If there is a message and messages, then I need to display this one. So I hope all these things are correct. Now coming back to the point, so I'm going to make use of the use effect. You know what is use effect? It is going to do, it is basically going to run at least once when the state is getting changed, right? So I'm going to make use of the use effect here. So this will be the function call, and I'm going to tell here if there is a user information, that means if there is a user information already. So once we have done, if there is some kind of any user information, what I need to do here is I wanted to navigate him to the navigate. If the user is, that means the user is already logged in. Okay, so or else I'm going to like navigate him to the slash login page. So I'm going, if the user info is there, I'm just going to simply navigate to the slash, that is a home page right now. Okay, so if it is not, if it is condition is not getting satisfied, then I'm going to get the user information if it's get the data, and I need to just pass the redirects over here. This two argument I need to pass it over here. Okay, that is done. So now, you know, right, whenever we are submitting now, so whenever we submit this specific form, what I did, I'm just going to check the validations. If no validations has been there, then I can do the sign up success. So in the else part, I need to add the, I need to call the endpoint now. So to call the endpoint, I'm just going to make use of the dispatch over here. So for the dispatch, I'm just going to make use of the specific function over here. So what is the function I'm just going to make use for the specific dispatch? So for that I need to get one things, that basically I need to make use of the user actions. So I need to make use of the user actions. This is a sign up. I need to call this specific sign up method here. So I'm going to paste it here. So if I just, I'm going to get this sign up specific function from the user actions. So if I just get here, whenever I call this, I need to pass this attributes, right? And then based on the specific type, the dispatch is going to get occur. Let's see what happens. So I'm created a user sign up here. Now I'm going to make use of the dispatch. So I'm going to make use of here as a dispatch. Yeah, so in the dispatch, I'm going to make use of the, I'm going to call the sign up function. Here I need to pass the first name, last name, and all these things I need to pass it. So I'm going to pass it from the form basically. So I'm going to pass the f name, whatever the f name is being said. So whatever you have typed, basically whatever you have typed it over here, that is just going to pass it here. It will be the set here. I'm going to just pass it here. I'm going to pass f name. I'm just going to pass the l name. Then I'm going to pass the email address, or I'm just going to pass the any one of the password from the specific form. So this is all the data. I'm just going to pass it for the dispatch. So once the dispatch has been done, so once all the things is done, I'm just going to set this specific message now. I'm just going to set this specific message, that is a sign up has been success. Okay, I'm just going to do it as a sign up is success. Sign up is success. Please activate your account. Okay, activate your account. So I'm just going to keep it as a sign up is, right now I'm just going to keep it as a sign up is success. This session I'm going to just keep it without any kind of a mail, sending a mail. Okay, just it will be a normal login and normal sign up and normal login. In the next session, I'm just going to revamp this and make use of our login part. That so whenever I send it, I should get that API, that what I need to get that message like you activate your account kind of things. That thing should happen. Okay, so I'm going to maintain it as a dispatch set message to this sign up success here. So once the sign up has been success, I'm just going to simply navigate to the slash, that is a login page. Okay, so I'm just going to navigate to the slash login page over here. So this has been completed now. So let's see what happens now. So if I just come back and if I just refresh the page, now you can see it has been happened. So you can see here, I just come back to the action. So there is no action has been taken place. If I just go back to the home page, you can see product link request. Now if I just click on to this sign up page, so there is no action basically. Then action is been not happening here. Okay. So to make that specific action, so whenever I click onto that, it has to take the request basically. That has to be done. So it is not happened, right? So let's see what happens. So user info. Okay, we are not using of a load here, and we are not making use of this loader also. Okay, let loader part we'll see. Let do some kind of an information. Let's create here as a test, and I'm just going to do as a tester. I'm going to mention here as a test test at the rate gmail.com. I'm going to mention here as a test test at 1234. So I'm going to give it as a capital test at the rate 1234. Then I'm going to paste it. When I click on to a button sign up, okay, you can see it has gone to the login page here, but whether it has been success or not, that is the one thing, right? So basically what happened, whenever this app it is basically dispatched here, and this got run. When if it is getting run, then I could have seen the specific state has been. So you can see I was able to see it, guys. You can see I was able to see it took the request, and you can see I was able to see the failure here. You know why is getting failure? It is going to our backend part. It's going to our backend. If I show you the backend part here, you can see the mail has been not sent. Okay, that is why it has been failed here. So now what I'll do here is, for this session as said, right, so many of the people won't be having professional email. So because of that, what I'll do here is I'm just going to make use of a normal sign off for those people. Okay, so I'm going to just tell you, if the request is there, just simply just make it the user to the active. So I'm going to do what? So I'm going to show you what you have to do here. Okay, so I'm just going to comment out from here to here. So for this, I'm going to use of a multi-line comment so that I can uncomment later. I'm going to use it as a star here, and here I'm going to make it, I'm just going to comment till. Okay, I need to use triple, guys. I'm getting confused here. 3 quotes, and I'm going to make it as a 1 2 3. Okay, now you can see it has been commented here. Later I'll just uncomment whenever I want it. So this time I'm just going to copy this here, and even I'm going to just paste this part here inside this. I'm just going to remove this specific part from here. Okay, I'm just going to remove this specific part from here. So once I remove this specific part, okay, once I remove this specific part, now I can able to show you that would have been stored into our admin. If I just press Control Shift N, I'm just going to go to the new URL. So yeah, into the new URL, if I just go to this 127 port number 8000, and if I just go to the admin part of it, I had logged in. Let's see if it is logged in or not. So if I just show here, okay, just call the API, guys. That has to work. Okay, so I think it has been stuck somewhere. So let me call it from here. Okay, so port number 8000 slash admin. If I just call here, so even here it is also is not going, it's not calling that method. So what I'll do is I'm going to just stop the server again. I'm just going to restart it. So I'm going to just restart the server, python manage.py run server. So once I restart the server, now what I'll do here is I'm just going to open the dot. Let's see. So the server has been started. So once the server has been started, I'm just going to go back to this admin part now. If I just refresh, I can see it has been logged into the administrator. So let's tell here as a, I think ARK at the rate gmail.com and ANWES. So once I logged in as an admin, so I think I have given as anis at the rate gmail.com ANWES. Okay, yeah, it has been logged in. So if I just come back to the users, you can see the tester, you can see the test data has been stored. The previously the data has been stored, just it was not going as the email. So because of that, we got an error there, right? So I can just delete this specific user now. So once I just delete this specific user, it has been deleted. So once the user has been deleted, now I'm just going to come back to the sign up page. Now you can see at the right hand side, I'm just going to clear all the screen. So how can I clear it? I think I can so it has been clear now. So if I just come back here, also I'll just simply refresh the page. So once I refresh it, you can see right now it is nothing, it has been undefined. If I come back to the actions, so you can see it is not there anything. If I just come here, nothing is there. If I just go back to the sign up page, you can nothing is there. Now see, if I just try to apply the test here and the testr tester, and I'm going to maintain it as a test at the rate gmail.com, and I'm just going to mention test test at the rate 123, and I'm going to make use of the same here. Once I just click on to a sign up, you can see it has been taken a request, and you can see I got the sign up success here. So once the sign up is success, you can see I was able to get the payload. The idea of this here, I'm able to get 22, and you can see here I was able to get the username, I was able to get the password, name of the user, he is not an admin, and you can see I was able to get this specific token I over here. So this is what I wanted, and we have done it right. Now coming back to this again one more into our application, that is into our local storage. So I'm going to make use of the user information. I'm going to store the user information over here. So I'm just going to make use of any user information. You can see I was able to have the user information over here. So I'm able to have the token. So if the user is been signed up, and basically I'm going to store this token into our local storage, and if this token is valid, and it is an active token, at the time what we are going to, I'm just going to tell, yeah, the person has been logged in, and these are the correct credentials. Okay, so we are going to make use of this information, so we are just storing it as a user storage information over here. That is what we have been done over here. Okay, now this is what been done, right? So now what I'll do here is I'm just going to work for the login part as well. So for a login part, it is going to be a similar. I'm going to create it. Let me come back to the login screen here. So inside our login screen now, so I'm going to add for the login screen, right? So I'll just I'll just add it in the very fast way. So here in the sign up screen, again I'm just going to import those specific part, that is a use selector and a use dispatch has been already added. So here what I'll do here is here also error I have been used, right? So rather than using an error, so I'm going to copy wherever I have used the error. So I'm just going to make use of the message because it is conflicting it. Okay, I'm going to copy this. Yeah, it has been set message. So wherever I have used as a set message, I'm just going to make it as a set with the capital M message over. Okay, set message. I'm just going to make use of it. Okay, that is done. And apart from this, I need to copy, I need to load a few of the user information, user login part, right? So I'm going to just use those information. So I need to just configure this dispatch. I need to copy user login. That is going to come from the user login. So this user login is coming from the state, that is from our store that we have created as a user login, that is just going to come over here. Okay, that is been clear, I guess. So once it has been done, what I need to do, I need to add the use effect conditions. So for the use effect is there, that is fine. So I'm going to add that use effect part now. So for that, I'm just going to add the location, this use location, if there is a search location. So basically it is going to keep track of which is the current location, will be the redirection. So if the user already is data is already there, if the user information is already there, I'm just going to simply navigate to this one. Okay, if the data is there, or else what I'll do here is I'm just going to call the method, call the user info from the user login method. Okay, so it is going to check the state whether the user has been logged in or what is the current state. Okay, so that is what it is going to do. So if I just format the document, it is fine. So I hope you have understood this. If the user already data is there, it is not going to do anything, and it will just keep on checking the user information whenever your state is getting changed. It will just check whether the user information is there or not into your local storage or like that. Okay, if it is there, if it is, and it is going to keep you the redirect path, and it is going to get the data from here. Okay, that is what it will there. So all the things is going to remain same, and here we need to just add the event submit handler, right? So what is the submit handler? Basically when I log in, what it should be happen. So I'm just going to simply call a method. So basically I need to just call here as I need to just dispatch it. So what you need to dispatch, I need to call the action now. I need to call the user action, that is nothing but I need to call an action, that is a login screen. I'm just going to copy this login screen, and into our login I'm just going to import it. So from the actions, user action I have imported. So for a login, I'm just going to dispatch this specific login. Here I need to password. I need to just pass the email, comma, password over here. So what is this email and a password? From where this email and a password is coming? So from where this email and password is coming? That basically it is coming from here. So email and the password. So based on the form, whatever the value will be set, that is we are just going to pass it, and it is going to be dispatched over here. Okay. So let me save this. So once I save, I just come back to the home screen, refresh the login page. You can see I'm just going to right click and inspect element tool. Now I'll be showing you the Redux part of it, how it is going to be there. So if I just come back to the Redux, You can see right now is nothing. So let me log in with the test@gmail.com. So if I log in, that is the test test@1234. So if I just log in it over here, you can see login is failed. It is giving us a login fail. Basically, it is working. That's what I wanted. It is working. That is amazing part for me. Okay, it is working something. Okay, so I think what I have given 1 2 3 4 5 I had given. I don't know. Login fail. It is happening a login fail over here. So let me log in with this credential anis@gmail.com. This is correct data. Basically, what I am passing, that is correct. I'll just click on to this login now. So I'm getting a login success. Login is getting failed over here. If I just come back to backend, you can see it is taking as a bad request over here. Basically, it is taking as a bad request. Basically, we are getting as a bad request, and the API endpoint is not getting called. So that is what the thing is happening here. So API slash login, where is it? API slash login. If I just go to the actions, user actions here, and here API slash user slash login, right? So I haven't tested this. Let me test this endpoint. Copy this endpoint. Okay. Okay, let me save now. Let me save now. So let me try again. It is getting fail again. Something has been, what happened here? What is telling is okay, some other info from other things I got it here. Like it's telling me, okay, internal server error. Basically, the code has been having some mistake over here. That's giving as an internal server error now. Okay, it is telling you can call your role, but okay, basically it is not iterating the daily URL. So always you need to append with the slash at the end. Okay, so once the refresh, let's try again. ANWES@gmail.com and ANWES. So I click on to here. Login is getting failed here. So if it is getting failed, then there is some bad request is happening here. Let me go to the backend code. Let's see what happening over there. First, go to the URLs of it. So user slash login. So it is going to this URLs, that is my token pair view. So if I just go to the users login over here. Okay, we have commented this part. So where is the login code? We have written it here. Okay, get product, get route, get validate token. Okay, basically if I just go to the user login slash my token pair view as a serializer. So we'll just go to this, and from the views, I'm going to just search for this function. It is going to come here. So then it is going to go to here, and it has to validate it, and it has to return us back the validate some kind of data here. So that is not happening here. So let me come back to this sorry, into the Thunder client, and first go to the get users here. Where is that the URL we have created for that get user? So if I just click onto the get users, I was able to get it. So if I just come back to the get user profile, so this is basically gets the user profile. Here we are just passing any information. No, we are just based on the token, we are just validating this information. And if I just come back to here, I wanted to register it here, right? So I think I had created that thing. Let me check whether it is there or not. I think not here, I guess. So let me test it. So yeah guys, so let's check that specific whether it is getting logged in or not. I'll just go to the Thunder client. I'll just go to the login page, that is the endpoint. You can see when I just pass, so I was tested when I passing this username and a password, right? So it was able to, I was able to get the data. You can say I was able to create a post request, and in the headers I kept as applicant type as an application JSON, and inside the specific body in the JSON content I passed the username and the password. So it was able to get the data. You can see it is able to get the data over here, right? But the same thing was not happening for our REST web application. So when I submit here, so it is giving an failure. In the sense we have a bug into the our coding part for the front end part, in the front end side, right? So let's see what is the error over there. So now I'm just going to come back to my front end part, that is the user actions. So whenever it's taking a user slash action, so it is taking an email and a password. You can see I want not need to pass an email here. We need to pass the username here, right? So that is why we are getting an error here. So that is a bug we found perfectly. So I'm going to take as a username and a password here. So for the username, we are just passing an email, right? So we are in the Django, it is going to treat as a username. I hope now it has to work definitely. Wow, it's working fine, right? Congratulations, it's working fine. You can see I got a payload and I got to a product. So once it is done success, you can see it is redirecting back to the home page over here. So this is what I wanted. So once the user has been logged in, I can able to see I have logged in as an user, right? Let's see into my application what is the information I have stored. You can see I have stored the Anish detail over here. So based on these details, I'm going to validate whether the user is inside the session or whether the user is not inside this specific session. Okay, so that's great. So we have completed this specific part. So into the next session, we are going to look on to the concept on the like we are going to see like how we are going to connect with our email part. So after activation, then we can should be able to log in part. This specific session is mainly on for the users who don't have professional emails. So let me test it another here. So I'm just going to create it here as a ERK, and I'm just going to create the last name here as a pro. I'm going to tell it as ERK PRO at the rate gmail.com, and I'm going to tell here as ERK. So if I just click on ERK here, so once I click on to the sign up, so I got a message here. So you can say I'm not able to read the message here. So I'm not able to read the message. That is the one of the bug is there. So why I'm unable to read this specific message inside our loading, right? Sorry, inside our sign up page, sign up screen, where we are not able to load the message, because now the message I'm just passing into the message part. So what here we are doing here is whenever any kind of message happens, we are going to set the message, and it has to come here. So you can see you need to just pass the message here, not an error. So it was not displaying it. So once I just save it now, if I just submit, you can see password criteria does not matter. Now it is working fine. Okay. So now I'm just going to tell here as ARK at 123, and is going to mention ARK at the rate 123. And if I just click on to sign up, so ARK Pro and ARK at 123. So as I submit, you can see I had been logged in over here. Because why it is going directly to the login page, right? It is not going to the sign up page, because once I directly do this sign up part, automatically it creates a login for us. So why? Because we are just setting that application JSON, right? You can see once I just use the sign up is been success. Let me show you into the applications. Into our applications, if I show you, you can see I got an ARK Pro at the red Gmail, right? It's been set over here. Okay, imagine now if it is not there, if I just delete it here, I'm just going to delete all this information from here. Now if I just go back to the login screen, you can see if I know I don't have any information from here, right? So if I just come back here and let me go back to this one, I don't have anything here and don't have anything over there. If I just click onto the login screen, now you can see I was able to go to the login. If I have logged in already, then it won't be going to this login page. Okay, that is what I wanted to show you here. So let me log in now, ARK Pro at the rate gmail.com, and if I just click onto the ARK at the rate 123, if I log in here, I can see it is going to the home page over here. Now you can see the user information has been stored here. Now if I try to go to the same login page, you can see it is not going to that page. It is going to come back to this. It is dispatching to the home screen. Why? Because it is evaluating this specific piece of code into our login screen. It is evaluating if the user information is out there. You have to now navigate over here, or else you can or else this specific condition doesn't work, and will just keep on searching for the user information screen over there. Okay, so that is what I have been seen. So far we have completed almost all the parts. So in the next session we are going to implement the mailing part, like let's see how once the activation is done, how we can redirect from there to here, and we are going to implement these errors and loadings properly over there. Take care. Bye bye.